You too, Tavares class. So, very quickly, because I was talking to a girl today who is, she's from Philly. I am from, I'm not from Philly, I'm from Southeast London. But we were talking about the what being from somewhere uh, like those places gives you. I'm from what one would call the projects in America. I'm from a council estate in southeast London, Lewisham. Now, what that has given me is a very good discernment to see when people are, to how they're moving from. You become very sensitive to reading people. But it's also made me very direct and real, and I say it as it is. So I love being from there. Southeast Londoners are like that. Philly is apparently like that too. She was saying, that to other people, her conversation might sound aggressive, but that's just the way that people talk, and it's the same way in Southeast London. If you're not used to it, you're not used to it. I forget that. But what I do like is, and I posted this, just a minute ago on Facebook, is that if I have to look after myself or defend myself, then I will. I it takes a lot of pushing to get me to roar, but if somebody's gonna push or treat me like shit or think that they can do whatever they want, I will cuss them the fuck out. And yeah, I think that people shouldn't do those things in the first place. My mother says this. Our family have hearts of gold, but if you put us in a corner, don't come for us, right? Because we'll tell you about yourself. Because people shouldn't do that fucking shit in the first place and think that you're just going to take it. Some people play really strange manipulation games and just treat other people like shit. It's so important to have healthy boundaries. And listen, I don't think that, once again, we should have to walk through the world in fear that people are doing these things, or going to treat you like shit. Look at my hair. You see what I just did? How is that doing that? Is that my hair? Whoa. I do not know how that is doing that. Why? That's some crazy shit right there. Doesn't make no sense. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think that people should treat other people like shit. But listen, if you ain't got boundaries, sometimes you've got to stand up and say, listen, I'm not having it. Sometimes you really have to do that. I've had to do that a lot in the last 3 to 4 years. People who want to overstep boundaries, want to play games, want to drag you into their drama and into their nonsense, and then you have to say, listen, I'm not the one, fuck off. But if people overstep those boundaries and drag you into that, then that's what they deserve to get, So there's that. Now, with the full moon space, it was just, it's all in Taurus. So it really is about boundaries, being safe, secure, stable. Like I said, it shouldn't be that we have to live in a fear-based space, because you don't want to. The other thing about the Taurian energy is that you get to experience joy and play and sensualness and sex. All of these very sensory things are Taurian energy. We had a lot of other placements in Scorpio. So we had Venus, we had the Sun, we had Mars, which is all medicine energy. So transforming and healing, getting in and shifting the way that we relate to feeling safe and at home. Taurian energy, the moon energy as well, is about the feminine energy. So how do women feel safe? Healing that space. I would argue that, the masculine energy's job is to hold that for the feminine energy, so that women can be in a space of receptivity and softness. Now, if we feel safe and settled and secure, once again at home in that Taurian energy, we can move into the Gemini energy, which is then expansive, social, communicative, connection. because we've got a safe base from which to explore from. That's the Taurus to Gemini narrative within the zodiac. So yeah. But sometimes hold your boundaries. Tell people about themselves. Don't let them play around with you. You know, that's a gift from Lucian and Philly. And I wonderfully grew up with some incredible people with lots of different influences, very close Sri Lankan friends, Jamaican friends, Ghanaian friends, Nigerian friends, people from everywhere. And it gave me an influence that I am super grateful for. So yeah, all of that stuff is roots. You know, root chakra stuff, base chakra stuff, stability, security. So when people run off into spirituality, yeah, and are not dealing with their shit and dealing with what's going on, they run away into higher energetic centers, or they avoid objective reality, the truth, baseline objective reality. Now, if you look at the trans movement, trans ideology, yeah, there's an issue going on with the lower energetic centers or how people identify with those spaces. It's trauma avoidance, it's pain avoidance. There isn't an issue with the physical body, one's home. The issue is in how one thinks, how one feels, not baseline objective reality. So one has to be embodied and okay with looking at discomfort, pain, trauma, whatever is within the natural system. The solution is not medication, surgery. We want integration. People that feel safe and secure and settled to express and communicate so that they're not running away into lots of different ways, modalities, spirituality, ideology, whatever it is, because they're not okay with being at home. In the physical system, very Taurian energy, embodied energy. It means that you can then communicate, express, experience joy, but you can't do that if you're not at home in yourself. Boundaries, root, Taurus. That's it. So if you want to work with me, carltreslove.com. If you want to give me these videos, PayPal at carltreslove. Like I will always say, remember, all is good, all is God, all is love. Until we connect again soon in a bit.